When you compare and order fractions, you want to make sure that your denominators are the same. If the denominators are the same, it means that each of these wholes is broken into the same number of pieces. And once you've done that, all you need to do is compare your numerators. If both wholes have the same number of pieces, then the numerators tell you how many of those pieces are actually shaded in. And the one that has more pieces shaded in is going to be your bigger fraction. So the way we do this is we start off by finding the least common multiple of our denominators. Now, the more you do this, finding the least common multiple, the better at it you'll get. And so in the beginning, you may have to show a lot of work. But as you do these more and more, you're going to start to recognize some things. So let's start with 5. If I'm looking for multiples of 5, I've got 5, 10, 15, and 20. I'm going to stop there. I know that 20 is a multiple of 4, and I'm pretty sure that it is my least common multiple of these two numbers, but I'm just going to test it out. So I'm going to test it out by listing my multiples of 4. So I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. So I can see by looking at this that 20 is going to be my least common multiple. Well, once you have your least common multiple, you want to use that least common multiple to make equivalent fractions. We want to turn both of these two fractions into fractions with a denominator of 20. So I'll start off with my 4/5. I'm going to do it down here so I have space. 4/5, and I want to make this a fraction with a denominator of 20. Then I'm going to do the same thing for my 3/4, and I'm going to turn that into a fraction with a denominator of 20. Well, to go from 4/5 to something over 20, to go from 5 to 20, I multiplied this by 4. So I'm going to do the same thing up here on the top, and I get 16/20. I'll write that up here so I can see it. 16 out of 20. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. 3/4, to go from a denominator of 4 to a denominator of 20, I multiply by 5. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top, and I get 15/20. So again, I'll put that up here. So now we need to think, well, which of these is more? Is having 16 out of 20 pieces or 15 out of 20 pieces more? And we know that 16 is the bigger numerator, so that's going to be my bigger fraction. So I'm going to put my symbol this way to say 4/5 is greater than 3/4. Okay, let's try it again. This time I have 2/3 and 5/7. So when it comes to listing my multiples for my least common multiple, I'll start with 3. And again, as I'm listing these multiples for 3, I'm going to be thinking about my multiples for 7 so that I can see if I can recognize it. So I start 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I know 21 is a multiple of 7, so let's see if that's my least common one. So 7, 14, 21, and it is. Okay? And like I said, eventually you're going to get to the point where you don't have to test them both. You'll just recognize, oh, that's the smallest one. So my next step is going to be to change this fraction, 2/3, into a fraction with a denominator of 21. And I'm going to do the same thing over here for 5/7. Get a denominator of 21. To go from 3 to 21, we multiply by 7. So I do the same on the top. 2 times 7 is 14. So I have 14 out of 21. Do the same thing here. To go from 7 to 21 is times 3. So we'll do the same thing up top, and we get 15 out of 21. And now that I have the same denominators, what I need to do is think about, okay, which is more, 14 out of 21 or 15 out of 21? Well, 15 is more than 14, so that's my bigger fraction. So I put this symbol in because this is the bigger amount. 2/3 is less than 5/7. And let's try one more, 4/6 and 6/9. So I'm going to start with my multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. And I keep thinking, okay, so far none of these are multiples of 9. So 6, oh, wait, there is a multiple of 9 here. 18, I bet that's my least common multiple. Let's test it out. So 9 and 18, there it is. Now let's say I had missed that right off the beginning, and I had kept going, and I had gone 24, and then 30, and 36. And I thought, oh, 36, I know that's a multiple of 9. When I came down here and tested it out, and I got 9, 18, 27, 36. If I thought that was it, when I actually look at my list, I can say, nope, my actual least common multiple is 18. So I can stop at 18. So 4 6, we need to turn that into a fraction with a denominator of 18. And we need to turn in 6/9 into a fraction with a denominator of 18. And to do that, the first one, we're going to multiply by 3 here. So we get 12/18. Over here, to go from 9 to 18, we're going to multiply by 2 to do the same thing on the top, which gives me 12/18. And look what we have, 12/18 and 12/18. Those are exactly the same. So what I can do is put an equal sign in the middle here.